do that too. Maybe that's an idea. So your help is needed. And if you get something together, get it to Andy. And I've talked to a number of people in the past, and I told Andy who I've talked to, and I told him, let me know when you get something from them. And if it doesn't come in a reasonable time, I want to bang on the phone again. It's, you know, your club. We need your participation in that particular act. With that said, I'll go on with what has to be done. Upcoming meetings. Ray Jones.
Necessary.
Okay, George Glavis is, first of all, I want to thank the Kearns for the wonderful job he did in the freight location. And next spring we're going to Front Royal, Virginia, and George Glavis is hosting it. He's got a big spread of stuff in the hospitality. We're going to know all about the area.
Behind you.
There you are! He's got the floor.
Real quick, folks, I understand that that transmission show starts real early, and if I don't speed up here, you'll never get to it, so I'm going to make it short. May 12th through 15th, Front Royal, Virginia, about an hour outside of D.C. We've got a program which I think will be of interest to most of the guys and gals, because while the guys are doing their nuts and bolts things, the gals will have plenty of opportunity to do other things nearby, including while we're showing off our cars. So Linda's going to tell you a little bit about the place where we're going to stay. It's at the intersection of 81 and 66, if you know the routes, interstates. Yes. And it's easy to get to from D.C., where you'd be flying in. You drive up Interstate 66, and Front Royal is just before you run out of 66 onto 81, so you can't miss that part. And if you're coming from the north, it's down 81. If you're coming from the south, it's up 81.
And tell them what the exit number is.
Exit 6 off of 66.
Now, exit's 300 off of 81.
81.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
300 off of
Exit 300.
Okay.
Yeah, right on. So Linda's going to tell you a little bit about the hotel we've got lined up. Go for it.
Well, we'll be staying at the Holiday Inn. It was just opened in 2008, so it's a brand new facility. We have 124 rooms, I believe it's 26 suites, and it's all ours if we can fill it up. So we have a nice contract there. They have a nice restaurant where all the food is made from scratch. They'll be serving our banquet. And if you don't like that, there are about 5 or 6 restaurants close by. There's shopping, and we have items, brochures and things in the hospitality suite, and see them there and you can ask us any questions.
Right, it's got plenty of parking, so in the back we've got our own parking area, so you don't have to worry about people running into you there. Like Linda said, there's a hotel, there's a restaurant that serves other people in the front, but it's on a golf course, so it's kind of a neat place. And for the activities, we have the Air and Space Museum, which is down by Dulles Airport. We have the Skyline Drive, which we were thinking about doing on the following day, Friday, including Luray Caverns, over the hill into Battlefield area with a lot of history coming up Route 11, back into Strasburg, and then back over into Front Royal. There's a lot of American Civil War history there, as well as revolutionary, because Strasburg was born 15 years before the country was born. So a lot of history and a lot of spectacular scenery and a lot of things to do. We have a what I would call a barbecue picnic area all down on the river Friday night, and we got some guys coming in to do a little bit of tech talk similar to what George is going to be doing today. And then on Saturday we have the Government Center parking lot to ourselves. That's all reserved for us, and within walking distance to that is an all-day wine and cheese festival. It's the 24th year of doing that, where they close off Main Street, and there's all kinds of things for the ladies as well.
Crafts. Yeah, all kinds of things. Our hotel has an indoor pool and spa overlooking the golf course, so we hope it'll be a good.
Then we've got White Coast and Billy Thompson lined up if we can pull that off, so it'll be fun. Any questions, folks? All right.
What's the room rate?
109. Can't compete with this wonderful place around here, but we don't have the tourist.
Gotta start saving and postpone that kitchen remodeling for another year, right?
Yes.
Around the Washington DC area, 109 is the best we could do.
And then the rooms are either 2 queens or king, but all the rooms, and they have refrigerator, microwave, and coffee maker in each room.
Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi, free
Absolutely.
Wi-Fi.
You
We'll
bet.
make sure there's a logo somewhere. I think we forgot.
We got that, and we got the hospitality room in the building there. So if it rains, you're still inside, and you get to go from your room to the eating place to the hospitality room. So it's all in one. All right. Thank you.
The year for next fall is St. Charles against Illinois. The next day means Phillips. And tell us a little something about that.
No problem, Gary.
I might add that Angie ought to be talking about this because she's done all the work.
She's done most of the work.
All the work.
Let's see, she's not working, I am. Get up here.
She's scared to death.
All right, we're gonna host this in St. Charles, Illinois, which is a river town, and it's right on the Fox River. And we're gonna be staying at a Hilton. Room rate's gonna be $99 a night. It's a new facility. There's microwave, there's refrigerator in every room. We're gonna have a large hospitality room, which will also double as our meeting room for business meeting and so on. And then we'll have a banquet room in the same hotel on the second floor. And then, yeah, it's right off the elevator. And then we've got several events. Actually, I'm thinking about one of them. I don't know how many people here has ever been to Navy Pier in Chicago. Okay, there's been a few. How many people would like to see Navy Pier in Chicago? The new Navy Pier. And what I'm proposing to do, and I would like to get some kind of input from the people here, because I would not want to take my letter card.
And for spring of 2011, somehow I've managed to allow us to get drugs back to California. Larry Jett is tired of flying to the meets, so he keeps putting them on. So he can tell us about this one.
Well, 10 years ago, Sandy and I had our freshman meet. A little scared that some of you would not think it worthwhile to come out to the West Coast, but you did. We had, according to Ray's little rate chart there, we had 31 lettered cars there. That was pretty fair. And then 6 years later, at our sophomore meet, we took you to South Lake Tahoe. We had 32. All right. My dream is to have the largest amount of letter cars that we ever had together at one time, and that'll be spring of 11. Monterey Carmel is about an hour and a little bit south of San Francisco. It's maybe 2 hours south of the Napa wine country. And Monterey Carmel, if you haven't been there, is where Pebble Beach is. It's also where the Cannery Row is, Steinbeck country. It's also where Laguna Seca is, which is one of the finest race courses in the United States. Now, the hardware of our tour is Laguna Seca, where I've arranged for us to make tours on the inside. You know, any dummy can run around the outside, but we're going to actually go up and down the corkscrew and all that stuff, provided you behave yourself. We'll get more than one lap. George could queer that.
Bill, that's where your disc brake conversion will come in place.
I could stop. I mean, I'd be able to go
The beach house is on Lake Tahoe has agreed to give us free reign of, I equally fine place down at 18.
That would
We've
be
never
the-
had it, just
the
depends
dual
on
meet
how
with both clubs.
it's made, so I haven't picked
Yeah,
out a
D-U-E-L,
hotel room
yeah.
yet.
Or D-U-A-L, yeah.
Chrysler TC by
Yeah,
Maserati.
Eastern and
had
Western 300
a
meet
meet down there 2 years ago.
jointly.
We went.
That's gonna be
There
interesting.
are reasonable
Yeah,
places.
duals.
My hope is to find something similar to the Viking at Tahoe, where we had the entire hotel, all the cars were in the middle, nobody was over here, nobody was over
Yeah,
there. We're
sounds
all
good.
together, we're a fraternity and sorority of Finns only. I'd like to find something relatively inexpensive, but if 109 didn't make anybody groan and it needs to get up to that high, we will have
Wow.
a spot where we're it. We're all together. So I hope you'll consider coming out. I want to make sure the dates
spring
that
2011
we've
is
been
it?
allowed to go around Laguna Seca
Spring
before I
2011.
firm this up. The Skip Barber School of Go Fast takes most of the time. The Forza clubs, they're always
Gotta
having
make
races.
sure it's late enough in the spring, the
We
snow
might
is
have
melted up on our
just
neck of the woods.
lunchtime for
So don't
20
salt my
minutes, but
sea
that's
on
all
the
you
way
need.
down.
Look forward to seeing you.
Larry, you gonna be free rock concerts every night like there were?
For the Eagles? Yes! I have to check my promoter to see when they're gonna be there. That was cool, wasn't it? Very cool.
How many of your largest number of letter cars together at one meeting do you expect to come to these?
You know, that's the way it
We
works.
had 53 or 4.
We must have had, in the Eagle River, we must have had
The
50 maybe,
epicenter
right? I
of
think so.
this,
You may have
this
to get a
club is,
California guy or two.
I know, that's the
More
point,
than
the
what I saw
epicenter of
here.
this club is St. Louis.
I have no idea how many cars they kind of scattered.
Fall of 2011, 2 years from now, shall we stay home because I don't have any place? Unless somebody
That's
steps
why I
forward,
get a 30-minute lecture on it.
and I've got a few proposals. Oh, wait a minute, I do. Lindsay Fuller. Lindsay Fuller has a sign-up sheet in the hospitality room to go to Winnipeg, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's,
Minutes from the
Old business.
Pennsylvania meet,
did you want that?
to refer to if there's anything outstanding.
Approve the non-existent minutes.
See, September.
Brian or Michael, do you have any comments under the old business?
No, sir, I'm happy.
There you are, Mike.
Wants to get things moving, I don't.
All right. New business? Have anything coming up under new business? Ryan or Michael?
No, sir. No. Ready to go.
RJ.
Where'd you go?
George!
George, you got a non-member over there.
No, I'm a member.
He just joined so he could say something. Yeah, he just joined so he could say something, that's right.
So I just want to let you know I'm working on some very creative, progressive ideas right now. I'm looking for 3 volunteers and their cars to meet me at 4:30. I'll show you what I have in mind. Nothing like it has ever been done before. And from what I've shown other people, they're amazed. And then that's the first thing. There's no cost. So it's experimental. If you like it, great. We'll work with it. The second thing is I am going to give, I think there's a lot of people that attended the main little class I gave on how to take good photos of your car. And I'd love to publish an article with Andy in the next issue or something like that if people are interested in something like that. Yes. You know, tips coming from a working professional. Just take your own car pictures. But I'd like to also be there and share my time and ideas with you after the banquet on Saturday night. You know, maybe starting around 10:30 for a half hour. I'll make myself available in and around the parking lot, and I'll have a variety of topics to talk about, and you're all welcome to attend to that. So there's no cost to that. So if you're interested, see me right afterwards for 4:30 this afternoon. I'll only go for about a half hour to 45 minutes. We can go to dinner. So, cool.
Thank you, RJ. At this meeting, there are no nominations for elections to be discussed. I believe the spring meeting next year they're moving nominations for officers. Board of Directors stand status quo. They will be in effect for another. Any other further questions? Michael or Brian?
No.
Okay. So then, with all adieu, I proclaim this meeting closed.
All right. Great business meeting, right, Dave? Fantastic here. And look at all those fin beauties out in the lot there. Oh, man. Starting with this white sea right here, right on down the line. Right, Lynn?
Yeah, it's just, boy, the lines of those cars.
You better, so I guess you got to get one, right, Lynn?
Yeah, I'm sure thinking about it.
The Bill, is that Hemi taxi ready to roll?
Too much fun.
That happens. That's what life's all about, you know? Look at all those beautiful 300s.
This is the one we looked at the other night that had the... Which one is this here? This is
a 300G. 300G, 61.
61.
And here's a 58 300D lowered. You see, she looks kind of low here. And he's got the, you can tell with the windshield there a little bit. You probably have the torsion bars cranked down a little bit to make her look.
I was going to say that looks
fantastic setup. Yep, all these beautiful Fs. And a 300H right there, right, Noel? The 413 dual quad.
62.
Absolutely. 300C taxis ready to roll, right, Bill? We got to get back for transmission clinic.
Don't know that they'll roll.
Oh, hey, you got to have faith in your letter car. How you doing? Harry.
Well, we'll see you later.
Okay there, Daryl. Remember, Daryl Miller, I got to remember that. Dave Schwann here from Iowa. Daryl Miller here from Illinois. And Jim and Josh. There's Jim Golden. 300D. Sounds awesome. You're next, Daryl. And the Tahitian Coral 300D. Bill, this car looks real familiar. I think I drove over to this luncheon meeting in it.
Is it the right car?
Is it the right car? There's so darn many 300s around here, you can very easily get to the wrong car. Bill? Yeah, but some identifying thing on there.
A blemish.
A little blem.
Beauty bar.
There Bill sharing the restoration on this fine 300C here with the group.
It's car history.
Yep, there's a black 300E there.
Yeah, that's my first 300.
Awesome.
Black 300E.
Yep, that's got the wedge.
All the motors have been cleaned out. It works good. It's not like I'm just being real picky. It seems like it's got a little hesitation.
Well, these are because the way they have to go backwards and then down.
Yeah.
It's a real tight deal
spot
right
on the
there.
top of the cam there.
I remember my E, it was always
We're heading back to the
very
motel here, and we're going to get ready for the, we're cruising through downtown Branson here and ride the ducks there. Reverend Fly there.
Yeah.
The duck patrol.
Go on the river. Go on the river.
We're going to go back to the 300 Club Transmission Clinic.
Emporium or whatever.
Look at that. There you go, Ollie.
Oh, no.
What do you think?
They're taking over the drag here.
Dodge Dart there.
Your horn sound nice. These other cars are taking over the drag here.
Yep.
They're just out tooling. They're out tooling around.
They have opulence, right, Lynn? Like
Opulence.
Favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That's Lynn's favorite
Good thing.
buzzword, opulence. There you are, Ollie. A root beer float. Metallic brown Buick with bad shocks. 67 Electra. Looks like somebody's showing off their terracotta F here, huh, Jim? Either that or need some repair.
We're
doing a critique. Fantastic. What are you critiquing?
Well, I'm asking Gil, what,
Yep.
you know, what should some of these colors be?
Absolutely.
For when I get around to restoring it? And he said this should be cadmium like underneath here, so now I know that. Wasn't sure about that. I know I gotta paint the rams.
This is CAD, but I think this is body color. It looked like it had been done before, but ask the professional. Gil, no.
Well, maybe he wasn't talking about that.
He was
Maybe
talking about this.
Talking about this.
Yeah.
This whole blade here.
Be nice to know. I'm going to quiz you later, Lindsay. See how well you remember. We practice, and I can learn too.
Yeah.
Because I have 5 of these to do. Fs.
Better get going.
No. I don't think I have enough on the other end, but you know, if I can put all the pieces together, and for the next guy down the road, I told my daughter, hey, give them away to nice people.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay.
Transmission clinic is going to be going on right now.
Yes, I know.
Right, Gil?
I don't know much about
Transmission clinic, a bunch of shiftless characters in here, huh?
But yeah, there's times that you can struggle. I mean, for hours, literally. And this thing will not go in. The problem is, when you're getting this into the torque converter, you have 2 sets of splines. This is fixed, this is movable. And if you feel you got a problem with that, you can take the brake drum and you can turn that back and forth while you're putting a little pressure on there, and sometimes it'll blow.
Yeah. Sometimes you
Other
do that
times it
for
just won't.
I've always used the lining bolts to
Yeah.
slide it in. I guess is that
Yeah,
what everybody
that's
does?
what I do too. I take bolts of the proper size and they're about this long. I cut the heads off and slot them, and I put them into the bell housing on the bottom. And I get my jack underneath the transmission, and I get this lined up, and I visually see the gap between the bell housing and the transmission face to see if they're completely vertical. And I'd say 60% of the time, give a little push on that, resting on the guide pins, and plop, she'll go right in. Other times, no. You gotta play with it, you sit there, you're turning that thing back and forth, you're jiggling it up and down, sideways, and then finally you get out, you have a beer, a couple of shots, and by then, you forget about the whole thing.
I think the one thing you want to make is that force is never the answer, it's patience.
Yes.
Where's the front seal, George? Is that inside?
Yeah, that's in there.
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
Right there. That rides on the converter hub. Now, years ago, National Seal made a double lip bearing, a seal, which I preferred to use, and use them, oh geez, doing the early transmission. Never had the hub of that torque converter, which is probably an original factory torque converter. The edge of that hub is so sharp, you don't even want to rub your finger over it because it will cut you. I came to this realization, well, this is not right. So the people that were rebuilding the torque converters for me, I had 2 or 3 or 4 of them come back, and they had the sharp edges. Well, I got on the phone right away, and now, I'm not going to go too much into the emergency brake. It's fairly simple and so on and so forth. But I just made a realization here. One process.
Real good stuff, Lynn. So open up your perceptors and pick up everything here.
This thing hard.
Yep.
Good job, John.
Just crimped over that Bakelite. And yeah, that'll drip. You can look at the car when it's stopped. Nothing comes out of it. But when you start the car, that's when the fluid starts dripping out. And it drips down along the pan, all the way across the pan, across the rear transmission mount, and the back of the transmission. And you say, oh my God. And it's probably 4 teaspoons of oil that makes the big mess.
Well, it looks like 4
It looks like you
gallons.
spilled a gallon or, quart of oil.
On my floor,
They don't know how to remove these cables. They don't look in the book. If they don't have the book, they just start going in there and doing things they shouldn't. And what happens is they break this little lever. And this is your connector for your cable. And through the efforts of Herb Rogers, who works in a machine shop, he's remanufactured these. Because once they break, they're made out of a particular metal that you can't solder it and you can't weld it back together.
Bin and pull
Pardon?
another trailer.
Yeah, go
Parts.
ahead.
What? Just go to your bin and pull parts trailer.
And so many of these, they're broke. And you'll, I'd say 90% of it's due
Leak
to the
comes from
cable.
when it sits.
You have an outer housing on the cable. When the transmission fluid drains out of the torque converter, drains out of your valve, your clutch packs and your valve body, yes, the fluid level rises. Now, if you take a look, your fluid level will be up above here, right about here. Your cable's down here. Your cable comes out and then goes up to your firewall, up to your box. If you have any bad spot in that outer housing, usually they're a rubber cable in the early ones, they're a plastic type cable in the later cars. That fluid will find that spot and it'll run down there. When you're driving the car, it won't leak. When you park the car, you come out there 3-4 hours later, you know, it's dry, but overnight you go to get in the car and you got a puddle under the car like that. That's where it's coming from. I have repaired many of these cables. There's a little brass ferrule that holds the outer housing to the basic core itself. And the basic core itself is just a wire that is around. The 300 transmissions run on 103 to 105 line pressure. And the only way you can check this is you have the car running and you have your line pressure gauges on there and you get a reading. And you turn this back off the lock nut and you turn this in.
Which increases
Now,
pressure.
if I get a New Yorker or an Imperial or something like that, I automatically back this nut off and I
Screw it in
turn
all the
this
way.
in 2 full turns.
Yep.
And that should give me the approximate
300 pressure.
higher line
You can
pressure.
bench set that pressure without the car.
Out of the junkyard. You can't see any of the casting numbers on it. It's one big mass of rust. There's grease and mud just filling this whole area. You can't see the backing plate, the detent in the backing plate here for the brake shoes. And like I said to someone else here in the past, that some of these engines and transmissions that I bring into the shop to have in a hot tank, they say, what are you doing with that stuff? If that was brought into our shop, we tell them, you know, take it back and throw it in the junk and get another one. They won't touch it. But, like I say, these transmissions, this 1854 123, it's an authentic late 56 if you had a torque flight, and it goes up to 1959, early 59. So it's something that's unique to the car. This is your governor assembly.
Oh, God.
This rotates, constantly rotates. And you have a small weight in here, and you have a heavy weight. Now the difference between a 300 weight, where's the other one? Or weight. This is the one that has a spring on the inside and a little snap ring there. And inside here you have one that moves. You have a weight on the other side that is a smaller one, which I didn't bring. These two things control your shift points. Okay, let's take this for example. This is your New Yorker and Imperial. There's a solid weight. Police and high performance, as they call high performance, is machined somewhat.
Like an empty spool of thread.
On a 300, looks like that.
Wow.
This is machined down to 42 grams. And through the years, I've taken these weights, I take them into the machine shop, put them on the lathe, and start machining